liberty.
Widespread racism against the Asian American and Pacific Islander community is a serious and devastating issue that is impacting the lives of millions every day. It's up to all of us to stand up, speak out, and put an end to this racism. Stop AAPI Hate is a national coalition that tracks incidents of hate and discrimination against the AAPI community across the United States. To report a hate incident or to learn more about what you can do to help, visit stopaapihate.org now.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. The NFL set to meet with Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson this week. The league's been investigating to determine whether he violated the personal conduct policy. Watson is facing 22 civil lawsuits alleging sexual misconduct. He's denied all allegations. Saints coach Dennis Allen said today the cryptic tweet made by former New Orleans quarterback Drew Brees, who hinted at a possible return to football, likely made in jest. The Saints, meantime, set to enter 2022 with Jameis Winston as their starting QB, and they could be among the NFC's elite this season thanks to some additions, believes ESPN's Dan Orlovsky.
I think the addition of Jarvis Landry puts them neck and neck with Tampa Bay. Neck and neck. This is a team that has whooped Tampa Bay in the regular season, last 4 games. The Saints are better now than they were this time last year, and the Buccaneers are worse now than they were this time last year.
Dan Orlovsky on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. NBA Celtics guard Marcus Smart questionable for Game 1 of the East Finals tomorrow against the Heat with a foot injury. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN TV.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Now, here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Spring. That's Spring. Enter that keyword at our website now for a chance to win $1,000.
Log on to ESPNAVL.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
Let's go!
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into another week of the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, not only heard on those directions, those frequencies here locally, but also everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, live or on demand. We always come to you live from the Ingles Studio. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings. I'm Tank Spencer. Flostradamus Jeremy Greene is here as well. And, you know, we got a lot to cover. We got the NBA finals, the conference finals all set up. We got choke jobs by the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Chris Paul and Matt Ryan, 2 people you can count on, never counting on.
Oh.
Ever. That's our poll question today. Was this the greatest choke job in the history of sports?
No.
As I would argue, yes.
No. Really?
They scored 27 points in the first half. Luka Doncic scored as many points as they did.
This is very true.
And it was him by himself, and you still got shellacked.
So in a single game, the biggest choke job in a single game, is that what you're talking about?
I would argue it's the biggest playoff choke I've ever seen. This made the Atlanta Falcons look good.
I mean, obviously, repping my Red Sox today. You can't forget 2004.
Yeah, it's baseball.
The
doesn't
ALCS,
count.
come on.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
That
takes 3 entire games to do. This was one shot. You had 48 minutes of basketball to get up for.
Uh-huh.
I still don't think half that team even knows that game started. That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, the sheer fact that Chris Paul felt the urge to go, I'm not retiring, as soon as it was over, Chris, buddy, Take a day. Let's think about
let
this.
this sink in.
Let's just let this slide for a minute.
Just marinate in it for a little bit before you want to make any rash decisions.
They scored 10 points in the second quarter yesterday.
I know. It was awful. It was absolute. I mean, I turned it off halfway through the game. It was like, can't do this anymore. This is not good. Chris Paul, the lasting legacy of his career is always going to be choking it away in the playoffs.
I'm waiting for the first person to super chat today to see what happens because there's a special little graphic today.
Ooh, special graphics. Don't forget you could join us on the YouTube stream. Not only are we heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, but seen everywhere on YouTube as well. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well so you can get into the chat with us. You can super chat when you join the House of Reprehensibles, all that kind of stuff. It's like a meager little $2 a month fee to join the House of Reprehensibles, and you get all kinds of access to us through that. So, I mean, you can get in on our new Dynasty League. Have we filled the Have you even joined the Dynasty League yet?
I have no idea.
Good Lord.
It was a busy weekend. There were a lot of naps. It was good.
Lots of naps thrown in this weekend. We had Game 7 galore yesterday. There were 2 of them in hockey. Didn't watch any of them. Sorry.
I did.
You
go
did?
Rangers. Let's go.
Good for you.
Let's go.
I'm
hopping on the Ranger bandwagon. My Vegas Knights didn't make it, so let's go Rangers.
Carolina.
My quarterback's all giddy about the Rangers.
The Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina Hurricanes on Saturday, coming through with the Game 7 victory over the Boston Bruins. So that was good for the Canes fans moving on in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Yesterday we had 2 Game 7s in the NBA. Yes, and look, I didn't foresee either of those wins coming.
I don't think anybody that's telling you the truth did.
We got Deshaun Watson meeting with the league at some point later on this week. We'll talk about that coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. We got Hall of Famers doing Hall of Fame type things. Not necessarily in the sport that they were Hall of Famers for. We'll talk about the Drew Brees thing. We got all kinds of stuff to get into here over the next 2 hours on ESPN Asheville. So last night it was the Suns, and I guess yesterday afternoon, the Bucks. Both of them got blown out in Game 7s, and I am trying to wrap my head around how this happens. I'm not trying to take anything away from, especially Boston, because that's a team that I really believe in.
I still don't.
Not trying to take anything away from Luka Doncic, because you said it last week, and I kind of rolled my eyes, and now I'm starting to think maybe you were right. Maybe he is the best player in the game right now.
I don't think it's even debatable.
Right.
I genuinely, I don't even know who you could make the case for. I want you to look at that Mavericks team and realize that it looks like every church league basketball team you've ever seen in your life because there is nobody that can beat you one-on-one other than Luka.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson, yeah, that's a cute little story. And he's fine. He's fine. He's nothing special.
No.
And the funny thing is I've seen this exact same narrative happen one time before, and it was the same team. It was Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks. The exact same way. Phoenix was having fun, making jokes. Oh, let's poke at Luka. Next thing you know, what happened?
Luka called game. That's what happened. Luka Doncic shows up and scored, what was it? He scored like 12 in the first quarter of the game. Had 30 at halftime, just about. And forever, Devin Booker's going to have to live with that image floating around on social media of them standing at the free throw line or on the box, and Luka just looking at him like, oh, what was that?
Secret time, that's the Super Chat graphic.
Nice.
It didn't happen the first time. Technology. Nothing I've touched today has worked, so I'm not shocked.
So we already have a Super Chat?
Tyler Cunningham. He said Saints 17-0.
Yeah! I'm going to disagree for the square, but it does look pretty good. Hey, especially if Drew Brees comes back.
Stop.
We'll talk about that coming up in the next hour.
You can't joke about anything.
No,
like,
you can't.
we're officially at the point where everything you post on social media will be taken literally, whether you meant it to be or not.
Right. And the Carolina Panthers fans. Have you seen this? Have you seen Panthers Twitter today? Talking about Drew Brees.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
I'm in nowhere near good enough a mood to Twitter today.
Drew Brees and Sean Payton, they're going to come save our season.
He's 43 years old.
They're not, because both of them have television jobs coming up this season.
One of them doesn't. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So Chris Paul says he's not retiring.
He should, and I would argue you should. No. You should, because you'll never come back from that. And I'll be honest with you, he looked awful.
Oh, absolutely.
Awful.
Absolutely.
He turned 37 years old, and the Space Jam guys just sucked the talent right out of him.
Yeah, he turned 37 during this series. In the last 4 games since he turned 37, he has been god-awful. He averaged like 9 points a game after turning 37. And it's the 5th time in Chris Paul's career that he has had a team lead 2-0 in a series and couldn't finish it out.
And this is the one you never recover from, ever. He has now passed Charles Barkley as the greatest player that couldn't win squat.
Mm-hmm. No, he's still got another year.
I don't care if that team was allowed to play 6 players at a time. I don't care. I will not fall for you again. DeAndre Ayton, biggest moments, tiny. Didn't play the last 19 minutes of that game. It was so bad that a guy who went number 1 overall and is now a restricted free agent, the narrative now is, I would never pay him.
No. Somebody's gonna.
Yeah, Phoenix. Phoenix is going to pay him.
You think so?
Absolutely. Absolutely I do. This is not a free agent destination. Yeah, you're going to pay DeAndre Ayton. And yeah, you're going to spend. They will do this same thing over and over again. Teams constructed like this, you never get over it. You never get over it. Okay. This was, oddly enough, the Phoenix Suns with Charles Barkley. Oh, you're really good.
Mm-hmm.
The Phoenix Suns with Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire. You're a great regular season team. You're great. Then you go into the playoffs and you shrivel. Devin Booker, you're not clutch. Sorry, you can't be that bad.
Right.
That looked like me. It genuinely looked like I had switched places with Devin Booker, and I got 48 minutes run last night.
Mm-hmm. 17 minutes was all that DeAndre Ayton played last night. Monty Williams pulls him off the court.
Third fewest he's played in any game in his career.
Monty Williams pulls him off the court, and he was visibly frustrated. They had words, and he never went back into the game. Did you hear what Pat Beverly said today?
Absolutely, I did. And guess what? He's right. He's right.
He said they benched the wrong dude. They should have benched Chris Paul.
Do you know who the leading scorer for the Phoenix Suns was yesterday? Don't look. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious if you can get this right. Every player on the team scored a point.
Was it Cam?
It was Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
With 12.
He was the only one that looked like there were signs of life at some point. He had a couple of big threes in that first half that I saw, and I was like, okay, well, maybe they'll be able to come back. And then after halftime, I just started seeing, like, can they make it look respectable? And no, they could not.
The 4 starters that played legitimate minutes. So you take away DeAndre Ayton.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what their plus-minus was last night?
No.
They were minus 157.
Jeez.
It's the biggest number I've ever seen. And now you just look at this and go, you know who really got by this? The NBA. The NBA cannot catch a break to save their lives. Because now you have the Golden State Warriors,
mm-hmm.
of which that's fine. That's not a title team to me.
That's a team.
It will be one of the weakest title teams of my lifetime if they actually manage to go through here.
Mm-hmm.
You have the faceless Dallas Mavericks. You have the largely faceless Miami Heat
mm-hmm.
and the Boston Celtics,
mm-hmm.
who 40% of NBA fans forgot Brad Stevens wasn't the coach. That's the number one thing I've learned today. How many of you did not know that Brad Stevens no longer coached that team?
Really?
Twitter went crazy with that last night. Of who is this guy coaching the Celtics? The same guy that's been coaching them all year long.
Right, it's Ime Udoka. Like, this was a big story. Remember, Brad Stevens steps off of the sidelines and goes to the front office. Ime Udoka gets the job. Like, how did you guys forget that this is what happened?
And so now you have 4 teams that are not. Golden State's the only really sexy team left. And they are absolutely maddening. This is probably the worst case scenario for the NBA. You have no Embiid. You have no Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
The only legitimate high-end stars you have are Luka and Steph, and they're playing each other.
Is it too early? People haven't come around to Jason Tatum yet? I mean, after the 46-point performance he had the other night, like,
Tatum's a star on the floor.
He's growing into being a star.
And I agree with that. The problem is that people in large part, don't watch these games. So, yes, it's great that he's great on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Average NBA fan does not know what his voice sounds like. Average NBA fan does not know what Jaylen Brown looks like.
Right.
Learned that one through a clip that came from his press conference where half of the comments were, "Who is that?
Who is this guy?"
I read through this whole thing going, man, this is not a good look for the NBA.
Right. Okay.
But now, if you're somebody like me, my team did not make it, so now I have to find something to root for. And for me, not that hard. It's Luka.
Oh, it's Luka.
No, the one bad that could happen is that the Warriors win this. I've seen that. I don't want to see that again.
Okay.
I want Luka to go in there and shut everybody up. Go in there and beat this Golden State team by yourself. And I'll be honest with you, I think he's going to.
You really?
Because I cannot figure out who is supposed to guard him. Put Andrew Wiggins on him. Please put Andrew Wiggins on him. Actually, better than that, put Steph on him.
Yeah.
And watch him go for 45 a night.
I don't think Steph is the answer.
The problem is you got to put Steph on somebody.
Right.
I don't like this matchup for Golden State at all.
I just still can't get past the fact that it's one guy. It's one guy, and you have to limit the damage that everybody else can do.
And I'm going to be honest with you, Golden State's the same way a lot.
Last night it was Spencer Dinwiddie getting 30 points. It's been Jalen Brunson every now and then.
And I like Jalen Brunson.
I don't know. I just don't know that they can do it. I don't know that they can pull it out. And I'll be on the other side of you on that one.
Jalen Brunson, Luka Doncic, and Spencer Dinwiddie had 90 of their 123 points.
So you have a sweeping indictment here that Phoenix Suns, they ain't it.
No.
They will not win. They will not win a title.
I'm Seacrest out on all of you.
Okay. Milwaukee Bucks. Do you take anything away from them losing to the Boston Celtics the way that they did?
My sweeping declaration with the Bucks is Giannis is great, but you really need a two.
Mm-hmm.
More than any superstar in this league, you really need a two. Because when things started to go sideways, there was no bucket getter. There was nobody. Right. There was nobody that he could count on to make a bucket. And there was a run, and I don't remember exactly what part of the game it was, because Milwaukee started hot, and then everything fell apart, and nobody could score. Chris Middleton is probably the most underrated player in this league.
Okay.
But now, do I have some, Mike Budenholzer does it again? No. Scoreboard.
Right. We won last year.
Yeah, scoreboard. You're sitting on a ring. I'm not going to judge you. Did I expect it? Not under any circumstance. As a matter of fact, I laughed at people that did expect it.
Right.
But that's a team you don't want to play. That Boston team is tough.
I agree.
They're good, and I've said this throughout the playoffs. Their good is better than anybody's. The problem is that it's so inconsistent.
I think if I am Adam Silver, I'm rooting for Golden State and Boston. That would be because I think that would get the most eyeballs.
I'm not sure that I agree with you. To me, and maybe it's my basketball fandom, maybe it's I just absolutely hate seeing the same team over and over again. For me, I want to see Luka, and I don't really care who comes out of the East.
Mm-hmm.
As long as Dallas comes out on that side, I don't care. You get Luka in a finals, Mark Cuban in a finals. Yep, I'm fine. That'll be just fine.
The Phoenix Suns choked it away again. CP3, a big part of the reason that they choked it away is, I mean, what do we feel about his legacy now that this has happened? Now, he says he's going to come back next year, but does that make anything better for this team? We'll talk about CP3 and the worst playoff chokes of all time coming up next, right here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, a cold front trying to clear us for tonight. It does drop the humidity, lower our temperatures a little bit for Tuesday. So feeling some refreshingly lower humidity coming our way tomorrow. Most of the thunder showers are over with for us tonight. Low down to 50 degrees. Sunshine Tuesday, 77. Partly cloudy Wednesday, 83. And afternoon storms Thursday, 86. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors.
Ray Magliozzi here. I don't cook much, but when I need ingredients for my car, eBay Motors has 122 million options. So whether I toasted my transmission or cooked my clutch, eBay Motors has all the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride.
Deep in the remote jungles of Colombia, a new species has been spotted. Humans. These humans are using animal mating techniques in their search for true love and are forbidden to speak to one another.
Not talking sucks. You either have your mate here or you don't.
Someone's got to go home.
This is it, the jungle or die.
Dating's never been this wild. Love in the Jungle on Discovery Plus. Start your free trial. Terms apply.
I'm Michelle V. Woodhouse for Congress, and I authorized this message.
Madison Cawthorn has self-destructed and cannot win the race for Congress. That's why true mountain conservatives are now moving to support America First conservative Michelle Woodhouse. Conservatives understand that Michelle Woodhouse is our only chance to keep our congressional seat in conservative hands. A vote for Madison Cawthorn is a wasted vote that could allow an establishment politician like Chuck Edwards to win our seat. That's why it's so important that conservatives unite behind Michelle Woodhouse now. Michelle Woodhouse will fight against Joe Biden's socialist agenda, and Michelle Woodhouse is the only candidate who can win in November. This race is coming down to two people. Conservative Michelle Woodhouse versus Chuck Edwards, who is the establishment candidate. In other words, Chuck Edwards is just like Richard Burr and Adam Kinzinger. Conservatives, the choice is clear. Michelle Woodhouse for Congress. Paid for by Michelle V. Woodhouse for Congress.
Hustle up, we've got 8 more floors to go before lunch.
Sarusha's window washing business is reaching new heights.
Wipe, and let's roll.
They need more certified cleaners to keep online reviews crystal clear.
Team, I know we're hustling, but watch for streaks. Candace, can you give me a hand over here?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
River Ridge Marketplace in East Asheville has been a staple of Buncombe County for generations, and now they're inviting you to their Spring Fling, May 28th from 11 to 4. There'll be food from their great restaurants such as Happy Cinco de Mayo, J&S Cafeteria, and many more. They'll also have sidewalk sales from their amazing vendors, snow cones, inflatables, and a petting zoo for the kids. So join me May 28th from 11 to 4 at River Ridge Marketplace.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
You two are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
5 times a CP3-led team has been up 2-0 in a playoff series and have not been able to close out the deal. Now, maybe it was just the perfect marriage. Maybe Chris Paul being a part of the Los Angeles Clippers when Doc Rivers was there was just the perfect marriage between playoff losers. It's just amazing to me how those paths crossed and neither of them can get away from it now.
Well, and the bad thing for Chris Paul is now that he is 37 years old, and you look at this team, I would argue the window has closed.
I don't know if the window's closed. It depends on what you could do in the offseason. Is there a way that you can find you can get another shooter in there? Because I think that's what they need.
Who?
I don't know. I'm not.
What are you going to do? Yeah, first of all, you got an owner that has, let's say, issues. We'll put it nicely and say he has issues.
Mm-hmm.
That you're already paying the luxury tax. You're committed on most of these guys. I think you have to commit on Ayton because nobody's going to give you anything for him. I mean, not
they will
to the level of what he's worth.
Right.
This will be Ben Simmons all over again. And so I think you're stuck. And now you have an old point guard. You know, let's call it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, you have an old, aging point guard that is, at best, 60% of what you expected him to be.
Right.
And so you think it's going to get better? No. And you look out west, the West is insane moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing that nobody will talk about, yeah, Golden State's great. They're still here. Dallas got here basically with one player.
Mm-hmm.
You still have Utah.
Yep.
That, yeah, you could end up breaking up Gobert and Donovan Mitchell because they don't seem to love each other.
Which I think is coming.
The Clippers with Kawhi, who did not play this year.
And are the favorites to win the West next year.
And Denver, that had two of their three superstars that either missed the entire year or a lot of it.
Right.
And I didn't even mention Memphis. So to me, if I'm Phoenix, I'm looking at this going, there is absolutely, I am in the round room and I was told to sit in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing I can do to fix this. And to me, it's not overreactionary. There are certain, and look, I've said this before, I don't overreact to one game very often. You cannot do that. At the end of the day, you cannot do that. Do you remember when it was the end of the Lakers, basically? When they brought in Karl Malone and they brought in Gary Payton and they played the Pistons in the finals, and you went, oh, that's done.
Right.
That's done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you're going to fix that, but the way this is built, that's over because they got smacked.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about Phoenix. Could you do something? Maybe. I don't know what piece you have that's attractive because Devin Booker is that's the untouchable.
Right.
Could you get creative with Bridges or something like that? Maybe.
I think Bridges would be the one.
And even then, I don't know what he would get you. And he's about the only player on that team that can play dead in the Western on defense. So I just think you're stuck.
Right. I love the fact that Luka outperformed everyone on that team. Everyone on the Phoenix Suns team, like their big, most important category that they're supposed to give that team, he beat all of them. Like he had more rebounds in this series than DeAndre Ayton did.
Mm-hmm. He was fantastic.
He was. He was unbelievable.
And I think he has completely shut down the talk of who is the best player in this league. Because it is him unequivocally. And if you don't believe me...
More than your 2022 MVP, Nikola Jokic.
Well, Nikola Jokic did the same thing, and he couldn't get out of the first round. Luka Doncic got you to the finals.
True.
And the difference is one's a point guard, and one is a center that plays a point guard on television.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, answer this question. Name me a player in the NBA that you could have taken Luka out, put him in, and you're still in the conference finals.
Yeah.
There's not one. There's not one. I mean, this roster is not great. I mean, Reggie Bullock, who's, I think, playing for his 40th team in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Dorian Finney-Smith and Dwight Powell. The ghost of Davis Bertans. Frank Nicolina getting some run. If you're a Knicks fan, that's a name that you don't ever want to hear again.
Yeesh.
Ever for as long as you live.
Yeah, he drafted him like, what, 11th overall?
No, it was higher than that.
It was higher.
It was in single digits. I just don't remember if it was 7 or 8.
Yeah, yikes.
He's the best player in the league. And I hope he gets his just desserts, and I hope he goes in and beats Golden State, goes to the finals, and away we go.
So you got him over Giannis. You got him over
Oh, to me, it's no
Jokic.
doubt over Giannis. Jokic is the only one that's even worth talking about to me. That's the only one even worth talking about.
Over Embiid.
How'd that go? Embiid with the ghost of fat James Harden. Bye, Philadelphia.
Yeah. You talk about a team that's stuck. Philadelphia.
Well, Philadelphia's not stuck because I'll be honest with you, I'd look at James Harden and go, I'll pass.
I don't know that Daryl Morey's going to do that, though.
No, I mean, Daryl Morey probably won't. I'm just saying what I would do.
Right.
There is no shot. No shot I would pay him.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there was an incentive that said if you show up at 2:40 again, we're going to talk.
I did love that he started the talk up of, I can get healthy finally this year. What's been preventing you from doing so the last 2 years?
A real love of butter. That's the only explanation.
Wow. Chris Paul, forever the choker.
He's the new Charles Barkley. He is the greatest player in NBA history that could never win anything.
Yeah, but more than Charles, like I don't feel like we don't look back on
exponentially more than Barkley ever did.
That's what I'm saying. We don't look back on Charles's career and label him the choker. It's not that he ever had the expectation to win. It's always been there with Chris Paul.
But he's the one when you say who is the greatest player in NBA history that never won a ring. It's Chuck immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore.
It's Chris Paul now.
It's Chris Paul now.
Yeah. I mean, because he's a no doubt first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, no doubt. But this will be the stain on his career forever. Mm-hmm. The reason that you will never put him with the high-end point guards, he will always be a but. He won't be up there with Magic. He won't be up there with the Oscar Robertsons of the world. He'll be one step below that.
Right.
And I'm not going to lie, this game just crystallized it all. It's always been this way, but this is the one you can come back to forever.
And you feel like this is, no doubt, the biggest choke job in history.
Ever. I've only felt this way 2 times. One of them was last night. Mm-hmm. The other one was Matt Ryan, 28-3 in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
That's it. To me, there's nothing else that even is worth talking about.
Right. Worse than the Warriors losing 3-1 lead in the finals to the Cavs that year.
Yeah, because you had an injury. I mean, there was an extenuating circumstance here. And look, I get that everybody's, Chris Paul, Cameron Payne, just please stop talking. Like,
what did he say?
Oh, we were all hurt. Ayton had a thumb, and Book's been working through things with his knees and the quad for Chris Paul.
Of course,
none of that came up until you got beat.
Right. You've been playing basketball for, 7 months now. Everybody's got a something.
And I'm not going to say it's not true. I'm just saying today was not the day to say that. You know what the answer is today? It wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad. We're on to next year.
On to next year. All right, it's time. Let's get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
All right, we had a very rare feat take place in baseball yesterday. I know nobody was paying attention because of the Game 7s in the hockey world and in the NBA playoffs as well. But yesterday, something happened that has only happened or had only happened 5 times before. And of course, it's the Cincinnati Reds, the worst damn team in the history of baseball. I'm maybe a little flippant on that one, but still, the Cincinnati Reds, they pitched a no-hitter yesterday. And they lost. They still lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates, 1-0. How does that happen? Well, you walk the bases loaded, and then it only takes one decent hit or one flub of a guy on the exchange with the double play that should have ended the inning, and no. He bobbled the exchange, and the run scored, and you lose 1-0. And gave up 0 hits. And, of course, in true baseball fashion, it was only 8 innings, so we don't count that as a no-hitter.
You took the words right out of my mouth. It
is the dumbest rule in baseball.
Well, technically, it's not a no-hitter because they only got 24 outs because they were losing.
Right.
Stop talking.
The Pirates didn't come up, obviously, in the 9th inning, so it was an incomplete no-hitter. Or it would have been the 3rd no-hitter pitched in Major League Baseball this year. But, they don't do that anymore. So.
And Hunter Greene is the one player on that team that should feel good this morning. He should have woke up this morning and just gone, I'm pretty good at baseball. Now the rest of my team, not so much.
Good.
They're not so great.
Yeah, not good. Good Lord.
Just one day. I just want one day where we don't have a story about a stupid lawsuit.
Oh, frivolous lawsuits. Gotta love them.
This is according to the New York Post. A pair of New York area fans have filed a $6 billion-dollar lawsuit against the Giants and the Jets, alleging that they must drop New York from their names, given that they play in New Jersey.
It's false advertising.
This is what makes it. All right, I've read this story across 7 different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
The fan, who I'm not going to dignify by saying his name, who calls himself an avid football fan, purchased tickets to go see his beloved Giants. I've read that in every story it's been put that way.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know the stadium was in New Jersey, and then complained that he spent more time getting out to the Meadowlands than he actually did enjoying the game.
Wait, he claims not to know.
If you're an avid football fan, you can't not know that.
Of
it's
course
not physically possible.
No, because if you're an avid fan and you have a beloved team, you would probably know that the New York Giants have been playing in New Jersey since 1976.
Yep, and the Jets have been doing it since 1983.
Right.
That's when they joined them out of the Meadowlands.
Right.
Now, as somebody that's a Jets fan, as somebody that has been there, I will tell you, how do I put this nicely? Where that stadium is located is not exactly a tourist destination.
Okay.
It's the 116th biggest city in the state of New Jersey. There are less than 10,000 people that live right there.
Right.
And it was a place that was used for dumps to take their garbage.
Of course.
Before the stadium was built.
Mm-hmm.
And then they built a second one. So I completely understand being a little upset by what you found when you got there. However, if you call yourself an avid fan, you should probably know where your team plays.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that made this worse, Evan Neal was asked about this, recent number 5 draft pick of the New York Giants. His response, I didn't know they were in New Jersey either until after they drafted me.
Oh, no.
You met with the team. You actually flew into this place. Did you not know what city you were in?
No, he wasn't.
At the very worst, you didn't know what state you were in?
Did he fly into LaGuardia and then just wasn't paying attention when the cab went over the bridge?
Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. If you flew into LaGuardia, it's a pretty decent drive.
I have no idea.
It takes quite some time to get out there.
I have no idea. Did he fly into New York City? Did they meet him like in New York City?
Here's the other thing about, as somebody that has made that drive, you can't look around and go, yep, I'm still in New York. I'm still in, because when you cross into New Jersey,
you know it.
You do, and it's kind of hard to explain how you do. There's many more people that look like they might do Mystic Tan.
Okay.
There's much more hair product in the state of New Jersey.
I see.
Many
the
more
Jersey Shore people.
Many more gold chains and jewelry that looks like I would wear it.
Okay.
You kind of picking up what I'm laying down here?
Yeah.
I can understand being upset, but to file a $6 billion lawsuit,
which is crazy. Yeah, it's like a class action lawsuit. They want everybody, all Jets and Giants fans, to jump onto this thing.
Well, I can tell you, this Jets fan, I am Seacrest out. As a matter of fact, I wish this is how our judicial system worked, that I could countersue you for being stupid.
Right. I
want this guy to have to buy somebody a lesser privileged Jets or Giants fan every year. You have to buy tickets every year. I don't care if they're bad seats. That is at Judge Greene. It is decided.
It is decided.
That is your penance.
You're now
for your stupid, frivolous lawsuit.
And there's not a judge in the world that would take this case.
Oh no, this will go absolutely nowhere.
Right. I love the fact that the Jets are the team that they're not even responding to this, and the Giants were like, "This okay? Let's give you the old canned statement. This is baseless in merit, and we're done."
I just want to know how you come up with the number. Like, how did an attorney with a straight face say, "We're suing the Giants and the Jets. How much are you seeking in damages? $6 billion." Did you say 600?
Nope.
Billion.
Yeah.
Billion.
The combined worth of the two franchises.
No,
Woody Johnson.
Woody Johnson owns one of those teams.
Yeah,
so,
I was going to say it'd be a little bit more than that. When did you see Jerry Jones said that he would sell the Dallas Cowboys.
He said he would never sell the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, true. In the end,
his verbatim was, "I would
he
never
said he would
sell the
never
Dallas
sell
Cowboys."
it. But if he were to consider it, it would have to be
starts at $10 billion.
Yeah, it would have 10 and up. 10 what? $10 billion.
The fact that caught anybody off guard is dumbfounding to me. You do realize he owns a $3 billion stadium, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the most valuable team in sports anyway.
Yeah, Forbes put it at what, like $6.5 billion this year?
That's just for the team.
Yeah.
Then you factor in the stadium. Of course it's $10 billion. What did you think it was going to be? The Minnesota Timberwolves would sell for $1 billion.
Mm-hmm. And the Denver Broncos are getting ready to sell for $4.5.
And I think that's probably on the low side.
Might be.
We're getting to the point with NFL ownership that there's not really going to be any more bidding. There's only a handful of people that can actually own one of these teams.
I feel like there's already only a handful of people that can own these teams.
Yeah, but you get consortiums and things like that.
True.
And now that's even becoming a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Lamar Jackson problem. And look, I'm not throwing shade at Steve Bisciotti by any stretch of the imagination. He's one of the best owners in all of pro sports.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not exactly as liquid as you would want him to be. So that big signing bonus that has to go into escrow does become kind of a problem.
We got the conference finals in the NBA are set. So we are going to have the Mavericks against the Golden State Warriors in the West.
And that's the better of the two. That's the better of the two.
Disagree.
It's not even close.
I disagree.
In terms of watchability, it's not even close.
As in terms of like star power, but if you're a fan of basketball and the X's and the O's and both playing both ways and all of that, the East has all of it. The Miami Heat against the Boston Celtics are both really complete teams. So that's the series that I'm really looking forward to watching.
I just find it funny that as of right now, I'm going to ask you a question. I did not preface this.
Okay.
What do you think the odds are if you took the Golden State Warriors or any other team? If you were wagering this of who's going to win the NBA title,
okay,
what number do you get on Golden State? What number do you get on everybody else?
Golden State. Plus,
this is the worst bet in all of wagering right now.
Plus 350.
Golden State's plus 125. The field is minus 165.
And
I don't even think they're going to win the series that they're in.
You're a true believer. You're a true believer now in the Dallas Mavericks.
It's not so much that as I've read this book. Golden State could very easily have lost to Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
A Memphis team that was so young and didn't even know what they didn't even know. And now you come off the emotional high of that. There were two really flat games, and I don't think Dallas could play any better. Now, some people will look at that as, well, the letdown is coming.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is now you're playing with house money. So now Luka Doncic is looking at this going, you have no one that can defend me. No one. You're going to have to hide somebody on Jalen Brunson, which means he's going to even be better than he was in the last series. And I look at how this lays out. That suicide lineup, I have the ultimate stopper of that. His name is Dwight Powell because he is athletic enough to deal with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to play some giant big. I can go little for little with you. And I have the best player in the world.
Okay. I see the Golden State Warriors being able to win this series. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying Luka ain't going to get his. But if I was Steve Kerr, I would be looking at it going, look, all we got to do is Luka's going to get his. We just got to make sure they don't have that other guy, whoever it's going to be. Spencer Dinwiddie, Jalen Brunson. Okay, I'm done. I don't have another one to go to after that. Like, that to me screams problem.
Kevin McKelligan in our YouTube comments said, when the Warriors actually decided to try and stop turning the ball over, we blew them out. Yeah, the problem is that there's too many stretches where you do that. And I'm going to be really honest. I have never thought Klay Thompson was back. I mean, have you? I've watched him all year long. Since he came back, I've watched him going, there's a gear that I want to see you hit, and I've never seen it. See it for a 4-minute stretch,
right?
But I've never seen him be that legitimate, too. I don't believe in Andrew Wiggins at all. That is the most comical all-star starter in the history of professional sports. And so I look at this and go, okay, I've got two teams that are really super reliant on their point guard.
But what about Poole? Jordan Poole has stepped up to be that next guy.
Offensively. The problem with Golden State has never been offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Poole is at times a complete liability on defense. And I'm just looking at this going, I mean, and I'm not going to tell you that this is the most cognizant thought that anybody's ever had. It's a gut. It's a gut of I think you're about to see Luka Doncic do something otherworldly. Because this is his coming out party. I mean, you got to say, Giannis went through the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
International players are up against it when it comes to becoming beloved in this country as NBA players. Giannis did it, winning a title. Now Luka has his chance, and he knows I may never get back here. This is not a team that's built for sustained success.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a Jaren Jackson. He doesn't have a Klay Thompson. He doesn't have a Michael Porter or a Jamal Murray. I could do this with every team out west. This could be my one shot, and I think he knows that. And so you have the hungrier of the two teams that's playing better, and there are unsettling things about what I have seen from Golden State. I'm not trying to slight Golden State by any stretch. There were things that I saw against Memphis that really bothered me because you don't undo it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go back to the way he said it. When we decided to really try and stop turning the ball over, you're not trying to turn it over in the first place. Tell you, as somebody that played this game and coached this game.
Right.
There are two kinds of teams that really protect the basketball and teams that don't. And Golden State at times has a tendency to be really loose with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the question of, what does Luka have to average for the Mavs to win this series? About what he did in the last one. I think it was 33.5 that he averaged in the last series.
Yeah.
Because down the line, Dallas matches up better with Golden State than they ever did with Phoenix. To me, it's not even close. That doesn't guarantee that you're going to win. I think it gives you a better opportunity to win. I watched them beat Phoenix, and I still don't understand how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than Phoenix beat themselves. And Luka was able to take the mantle, and nobody was able to stop him.
Luka may very well be the best player in the game right now. The thing that we have seen from Luka Doncic, though, since he's gotten into the playoffs is he does not shy away from these moments.
And he's got this, and I don't even know how to really quantify this. When you get in his face, he's got that old guy at the gym game of the more elbows you throw at me,
the more I'm going to smirk back at you.
The angrier I get, the more I'm going to smile at you and just beat your brains out.
I wish I could remember who said it, but I saw on Twitter somebody made the comparison between Luka Doncic and Joe Burrow. And it was beautiful.
There's
the
certainly
same guy.
A comparison there.
They're the same guy. Like when they show up in the arena, they are just lights out. And it doesn't matter what's around them. It doesn't matter what you've thrown at them or how much heat they're taking or how much pressure they're under. They are going to perform. And Luka absolutely has. He averaged 31 in the 2020 series against the Clippers that was so close. And he averaged, 29 against the Jazz, 32.2 this past series against the Phoenix Suns. I mean, I get that he is the only face that they have, but he actually makes everybody else around him better. Maybe not all at once. Maybe it's only, like I said, one guy every other game. But having that guy on the floor and a guy who's so unbelievable, can take you off the dribble, he can shoot the long ball, he could just do it all. I still don't feel like they have the advantage, though. I feel like the advantage is in Golden State's court, and it'll take a Herculean effort on Luka's part.
There is something I've seen out of Luka, and it's something I've seen out of a couple other players, and there is a statistical way for me to measure this. After the break, I'll tell you what that is.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA choice and prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Saturday, June 4th, the Cold Mountain Music Festival is back at beautiful Lake Logan, just outside Canton. It's a full day of music, food, and fun in the shadows of Cold Mountain, featuring Hiss, Golden Messenger, The Future Birds, The Mother Hips, Chatham Rabbits, and I Draw Slow. The gates open at noon. Music starts at 1. Get your tickets now at coldmountainmusic.org. Brought to you in part by New Belgium and proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Spending time outdoors can improve overall health and wellness. Celebrate Earth Day and take advantage of nature's health benefits by visiting a local park. Recreate responsibly to protect yourself and others and to make the outdoors safe and welcoming for people of all identities and abilities. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
The Winston-Salem Journal called it stolen valor. Madison Cawthorn lied about being accepted to the Naval Academy to get elected. In perpetual pursuit of celebrity, Cawthorn will lie about anything. That's why the Citizen Times calls Cawthorn an attention-seeking embarrassment. Now, Madison Cawthorn starring in Vladimir Putin's state-owned TV. Putin used Cawthorn's outrageous views to defend his evil war crimes. And while Putin slaughtered innocent Ukrainians, Cawthorn voted against sanctioning Putin and banning the Russian oil funding Putin's terror. Worse than helping our enemies, Madison Cawthorn hurts our heroes. Cawthorn's plan cuts veterans' benefits by $80 billion. Devastating cuts to America's finest. It's shameful. Lying, limelight-loving Madison Cawthorn helps our enemies, but hurts our heroes. Results for NC paid for and is responsible for the content of this ad. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.resultsfornc.com.
Hi, my name's Kevin. I'm active duty, so I'm figuring out my options while I'm stationed here.
Hey, Kevin. Navy Federal Credit Union is celebrating Military Appreciation Month, so you called the right place.
Guess you could say it's like a match made for Kevin. Get it?
Very good.
At Navy Federal, our mission has been to help the military community for over 85 years. During Military Appreciation Month, we're celebrating the commitment that connects us. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
And Doug. Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The Sportsocracy.
Gets the rebound, passes it to the man, shoots it, and boom goes the dynamite.
Now we got the Golden State Warriors getting ready to take on the Dallas Mavericks. Jeremy, you've already doubled down. So you're saying Mavs Heat finals, right? You said you were full on the Miami bandwagon last week.
I am. I'm going Mavs Heat, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
There are two players in this league that were top 25 in points, rebounds, assists, and per. You know who they are?
No.
Luka Doncic is one.
Mm-hmm.
Nikola Jokic was the other. You would have thought LeBron would be in that. Giannis.
Right.
Nope. And here's where this is where I think there will be an advantage against Golden State. When you have a guard that can rebound like that, it gets you set up quicker. One of the things that the Warriors have struggled with is teams that can run with them. Dallas does not do that. They're not as slow as people make them out to be.
Right.
I could see a path where you don't have anyone that can line up with him. I've heard people talk about, well, they can put Draymond on him. Are you out of your mind? I mean, I understand he's got a body like me. I'm fully well aware of that. That's not how this is going to go. The more likely is that they try to run Steph and Clay on him, and it's just a mess. And I look at his ability to rebound the basketball, get the ball up. They're playing a lot more three-guard lineups than you would think. That small ball, what do they call it, the suicide lineup or the killer lineup or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's not going to mess with Dallas.
The death line.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's not going to mess with Dallas in the same way that it messes with other teams. It killed Denver. Denver had no shot because now you've got Nikola Jokic that can't keep up with anybody. He's freakishly athletic for 7'2", 260.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Draymond Green athletic. And you just always have a mismatch. I don't see that with Dallas. I see one mismatch on the floor at all times. It's Luka on whoever is guarding him. And maybe I'm being beholden to the moment, and it's the most recent thing I saw, but I just watched you beat a team savagely that you matched up with much poorer than you do with Golden State. So maybe I'm being narrative guy. That doesn't usually happen, but maybe I am.
Maybe you are.
Maybe I want to see somebody win a Finals MVP that's built like me.
I'm going. I'm on the other side of you on both of these. I'm on Warriors Celtics. I think that'll be an exciting finals, and of course, it'll all kick off tomorrow. We got the Celtics and the Miami Heat first game tomorrow night. Wednesday night will be game 1 of the Western Conference Finals.
For those of you that listen to the show every day, this is usually where we do Greene on Greene. The only problem is that I'm not doing baseball.
Right.
Not going to do it. I will do hockey. I have found a love of hockey, mainly because it's something I can watch on a Tuesday and just roadhouse beers. There is something about hockey that is really conducive to drinking and watching.
Mm-hmm.
Much more so than the NBA. I don't know why that is.
Now that we got the Canes moving on, now I'll watch some hockey.
Oh, yeah, here's how much attention I was paying.
I think that was the last time I watched hockey, in fact, was 2006, 2007, when the Hurricanes were in it.
Sports freak Brian Hall had to come down the hall in the first commercial break to tell me that the Rangers were playing the Hurricanes. I had not gotten that far yet.
You didn't know who they were playing. You just knew the Rangers were moving
My
on.
quarterback and his little girly friend were at MSG, and I'm not going to lie, watching it got me really jazzed. It's like, hey, look at us supporting the other New York teams. If it's good enough for Zach Wilson, it's good enough for me.
Jeremy and I both owe a debt of gratitude to PhD Weight Loss. They're helping us become a healthier version of ourselves. And in 23 weeks, I've lost 66.4 pounds with the PhD Weight Loss program. They are teaching me how to be a more nutritious type of a guy.
I fell into bad eating habits because at the end of the day, if you've listened to the show for any period of time, this shouldn't come as a shock. I'm kind of lazy. So convenient food, it's how you wind up a little pudgy. Thankfully, the program at PhD, also convenient, teaches healthy nutritional habits and has gotten me back to my high school weight.
The program is very convenient. We've got all of our soups and our shakes and all of those things right beside us each and every day to be able to stick to the plan and not be swayed by fast food like we used to be. Go to myphdweightloss.com. Make the same decision that the Clemson Tigers made when they made the PhD Weight Loss program, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. Website, myphdweightloss.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, a cold front trying to clear us for tonight. It does drop the humidity, lower our temperatures a little bit for Tuesday. So feeling some refreshingly lower humidity coming our way tomorrow. Most of the thunder showers are over with for us tonight. Low down to 50 degrees. Sunshine Tuesday, 77. Partly cloudy Wednesday, 83. And afternoon storms Thursday, 86. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by News Nation. Want the news without the noise? Then catch Dan Abrams and Ashley Banfield back-to-back. Weeknights starting at 9, 8 Central on the fastest-growing cable news network in America, News Nation. Go to newsnationnow.com/join us to find your television provider.
Love this radio station? Take it with you everywhere you go, along with thousands more just like it when you download the free iHeartRadio app. Have something to say? Send a voice message straight to the studio by tapping the talkback mic inside the iHeartRadio app. You might even end up on the air, but that's just radio. Check out tons of playlists like Songs of Summer, along with the best sports podcasts in the world from the NFL Network, Dan Patrick, Sports Illustrated, and more. It's all waiting for you now on the free iHeart app. Discover music, radio, and podcasts you'll love.
iHeartRadio.
Need to hire? Need Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Christine Lisi. NFL officials are slated to meet with Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson this week. The league has been investigating Watson to determine if he violated its personal conduct policy. He's facing 22 civil lawsuits accusing him of inappropriate sexual conduct. Watson has denied all wrongdoing. NBA Celtics guard Marcus Smart dealing with a mid-foot sprain, questionable for the East Finals opener against the Heat tomorrow, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN TV. Then on Wednesday, the Mavericks and Warriors tip off the West Finals. Don't be surprised if Luka Doncic and company knock out Golden State, says Bally Sports Southwest Mavs analyst Derek Harper.
I like the Mavericks, man. I really do. I'm not just being a homer or whatever you want to call it. I think it's a good matchup for Dallas. And right now, if you're not expected to do anything, you do everything, right? There's no pressure on the Mavericks.
Derek Harper on Barton Hahn. West Finals Game 1 Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. NHL Golden Knights fired coach Pete DeBoer. Vegas failed to make the playoffs for the first time after a barrage of injuries and salary cap problems created lineup issues.
If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform helps you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Money. That's money. Enter it on our station website now.
Log on to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
And welcome back into the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere live or on demand on the iHeart Radio app. You can see us everywhere on YouTube. As always, go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link in the middle of the page. Subscribe to the channel once you're through to YouTube. That'll get you into the chat. You can join the House of Reprehensibles as well. And we welcome everybody who is watching along on the YouTube stream as well as here on ESPN Asheville. We're always brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings, and NFL news today. It's all about the Deshaun Watson meeting coming up with the league.
Allegedly, it's happening right now.
It's happening right now.
That is the latest information that has come out.
So we may know something very, very soon on whether or not the league is going to discipline Deshaun Watson for the accusations that have been levied against him. He still faces the 22 civil lawsuits for the alleged sexual assaults that took place with masseuses. But, you know, Jeremy, I have staked my flag on this. I believe the league is going to be in a position where they're going to do something. They are going to suspend him for some amount of time.
Well, what I wager is, and I do not have inside information on this, but I've gone back and I feel pretty sure that this is what's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL is going to Deshaun Watson with, what will you just accept and not fight back?
And agreed.
And I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm Deshaun Watson, it's nothing. I'm not going to not fight anything.
Well, Deshaun has said from the outset that he is innocent. He has said that he did nothing wrong. We heard it all in his press conference, his introductory press conference with the Cleveland Browns of, I did nothing wrong. And, your text messages that have leaked out might suggest a little different, but he says he's never hurt anybody. He's never done anything with a woman that, wasn't agreed to and all of that. And he has fought this from day one. He has maintained his innocence throughout the process, and he may do the same with the league.
And we routinely say this on the show. We're not cops and we're not lawyers, so we have no idea what happened.
Right.
We're not commenting on that. I will say, for how steadfast he has been in his own defense, taking any form of suspension is a bit of an admittance of guilt in the public eye. Not saying it should be. I'm saying that's how it will be construed.
But as would settling all of these cases, which is another reason why he has not done so.
And that's the reason that I don't think you're going to get we talked about Ben Roethlisberger.
Mm-hmm.
Ben basically said, well, you do this, and I'll agree to it.
Right.
And then it goes away.
Right.
I don't see that happening here. And now for the thing that we talk about for the Cleveland Browns season, you better hope it's 0 games. Because if it's not, you're in trouble. I mean, serious trouble.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of the things that you said last week, and I was not completely prepared to defend the ridiculousness of what you said.
The ridiculousness of the fact that they got the easiest schedule for the first month of the season.
They'll lose 2 of those games with Jacoby Brissett. They'll lose to the Jets, and they will lose to Pittsburgh. They could lose to Carolina, and it wouldn't shock me in the least. There is this myth that Jacoby Brissett is a good quarterback, and I do not know where it came from. He is bad. He's a decent enough backup quarterback.
Exactly.
If you have to count on him for any period of time, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Okay. I mean, he has filled in the past admirably when needed to.
Admirably, he's 14-23 as a starter on teams that would be better than what's surrounding him in Cleveland right now. You think that team is so good?
When he was with the Colts, that team was better.
That team almost made the playoffs. If you take that one Indianapolis Colt team away, do you know what his record is as a starter? Total?
What is it?
It's 7-15.
Yeah. Not good.
He's not a good quarterback. Played 6 years in the NFL. If you take away 1 year that he threw 4 passes, the highest QBR he's ever had was a 52. League average is 50. You're no better than you were. That team's not improved.
Right. All we have to do at that point is run the football.
And you think that the New York Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers don't know that?
Of course they do.
You play 3 teams there that the defenses are going to be pretty good.
Carolina Panthers among those 3.
And here's what if it somehow was 8 games, because that's been floated. Basically, the 3 layers of thought have been, it's either going to be nothing, 4, or 8. If it's 8, you might as well cancel the season right now because you are done like dinner. You will be 2-6 going into your bye week. It's over. There's nothing you can do. That's another reason that I don't think he's just going to roll over. I think he will fight this.
Okay.
The fact that they're meeting right now tells me that they think there is some form of compromise. Because from the aesthetic of the league, it's not going to be able to play the way that I've said it because it's the way I've heard it from people that are around Deshaun Watson. In his mind, he was suspended last year. His team did not let him play, and that reason was, A, he wanted to trade, and B, because of the legal things that were going on.
Right.
So in his own mind, he has already paid his penance for anything that he could possibly have done. I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying that is the narrative around him. I don't believe the league feels that way.
No, I don't think the league feels that way at all.
I also don't think if this goes to an arbiter that the league can win. Because I don't know how you're going to justify that everything he claims is not true.
Yeah, but it's
if it was not for the legal, would he have played last year? Wanting a trade with Houston, all of the things. Showed up to training camp, did everything.
Oh, sure.
Okay, you'll never get past that with an arbiter.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's all his defense team is going to say.
Yeah.
Did I have the opportunity to play last year? No. Name me a player you have ever suspended for more than a year for anything.
Agreed.
Case dismissed.
Agreed.
And I feel like he knows that. I think his legal team is telling him, we don't have to agree to anything.
Where does the arbiter come from?
And the way this works is it's an independent arbiter. Now,
Selected
that's always
by
Roger Goodell.
Exactly. So, I mean, I get
well,
what
I mean,
you're
the
saying.
only problem is that this is one of those cases that you would have to give an explanation. I don't know how you're going to give it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're never going to get over the, could I have played last year?
Yeah. But did he get paid for last year?
That doesn't matter. Could I have played?
I think it's going to matter.
It's never mattered before.
He
there
wasn't
have been plenty
suspended.
Of guys,
he wasn't on the exempt list,
and that's fine. You're talking about so you're talking about semantics. I'm talking about literally.
Mm-hmm.
Use just a modicum of common sense here. Was I suspended last year? Well, technically, no. Could I have played? No.
Yeah.
They sent me home.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for the legal, would my trade request been enough for them to send me home? No, because you would have fought that.
And if I were Roger Goodell, I would say that was between you and the Texans. There was nothing the league was preventing you from doing.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to matter.
I can't.
Roger Goodell represents who?
The owners.
The 32 owners.
Mm-hmm.
If one of the owners took a course of action, and Roger Goodell is the executive branch of the owners, it is not going to be a difficult leap to say that, okay, the McNair family and Goodell, keep him away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to have you on a wiretap saying this. All I have to do is convince one person that this makes more sense than anything else.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't see how anybody with an IQ above salad dressing doesn't know that happened.
There does not have to be a criminal conviction or even charges filed against a player to mean that for them not to face repercussion from the league because of the personal conduct policy that the league currently has. The league has, obviously, their investigative wing, which the investigation is continuing, or maybe it's wrapped up. If they are meeting today, then it's a sign that the investigation has wrapped up and they're giving Deshaun everything today. The report that came out earlier this morning was that just sometime this week. So I have not seen the report, but Jeremy, I trust your sources that it's happening now.
I would cite who said it.
Right.
It was a blue check mark on Twitter that said it's happening right now.
And okay, so we may find out by the end of this program if suspension is going to come down for him. But all of those who have said, as Jeremy has said in the past, well, he hasn't been charged with anything. Well, that doesn't matter. You don't have to be charged with anything. They've already done this twice. They did it to Ben Roethlisberger.
And this is where you lose the argument to me. Because now you're jumping from literal to semantics.
Mm-hmm.
And the semantics of this are on Deshaun Watson's side of, have you ever done this to a player before? I mean, I'll let you go back to the formation of the league in the 60s. The answer is no. It's never happened.
Suspending them for a year?
For over a year.
Right.
For over a year for anything.
But again, as I said, he wasn't suspended.
No. And
that was a deal with the team.
Yep. And so now you're going semantics and you're jumping to literal. You can't have this both ways. Well, technically you weren't suspended. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I was not technically suspended. Could I have played? No.
No, you couldn't have played because your team said no.
And why did my team say no? Did it have anything to do with my play on the field?
No, it had everything to do with all of the things that you're facing. I understand that. I know where you're coming from.
I'm just saying this is one of those things that if you go to an arbiter, you're going to lose.
Maybe so.
Just flat out.
And maybe the league knows it. Maybe the league knows it, and they are sitting down with the, look, here's what we're going to do. Your team has, and this would be me sitting down as Roger Goodell in the room. Look, you guys got a lucky break on, quote unquote, lucky break on the schedule.
I wouldn't say any of this out loud.
The first 4 weeks of the season, You can look at all the metrics, and according to, strength of schedule and all of that, the first 4 weeks of the season, you have by far the easiest path. You have the easiest opponents, judging on what they did last year, of here you go. We're going to suspend you for 4 games because there's no way, public relations-wise, we can get around this. This is going to cause a poo storm of epic proportions.
I don't agree with that.
It will. You will have you think what happened in the all of the poo squall that has taken place with the Minnesota Timberwolves owner and the protesters at the games. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen during games in the NFL because that doesn't happen.
And that's
but what
also
I'm saying,
nothing. That's 3 independent wackadoodles.
Yeah.
Did you have people? Did
you
you
have
see a lot?
somebody funding that? You have organizations who are going to come out and they are
Did it
going
affect the game? Did it affect the game in any way? Did you have people protesting outside? No, nobody cared. The only reason we even talked about it is because some wackadoodle glued themselves to the floor.
It's going to be on the front page of every newspaper.
No, it won't.
Yeah, it will.
Name the last time that happened.
Michael Vick.
Charged, convicted. There was nothing there.
I'm just saying when he served his time and he came back with the Philadelphia Eagles.
How long
they
did
had
that last?
Protesters at the first, 5 games of the season?
It was 2. It was 2.
Okay.
It lasted for 1 home game. And then it was over.
Okay.
Now, do I think that would happen here? I don't know. I can tell you that's not going to play into it.
Okay.
Because there's just too many ways you can go about this. The best case scenario for the NFL is they come together and go, we're going 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that makes sense, and I'll be honest with you. Nobody will ever convince me that who made the schedule did not do that on purpose.
Right.
Because that's how you convince him to do it.
The
only problem is that flies in the face of everything you have said.
The problem that the league or the problem that Deshaun might have is if the league can say, well, we found strong evidence that you pressured one of these masseuses into something that they didn't agree with. Whatever concrete evidence or feel like they have. Granted, there were 2 grand juries in the state of Texas that did not find concrete evidence to be able to charge him with a crime. But if the league can come up with text messages or DMs or whatever to say, we feel like this happened, they have it written, codified into the agreement with the Players Association in the personal conduct policy that we can suspend you for 6 games. I mean, that's what happened with Ezekiel Elliott. Remember when he was accused of domestic violence against his girlfriend? He never got charged with anything, but they suspended him for 6 games. In the conduct policy, it says if the league feels you have violated a domestic violence or a sexual assault or clause in the personal conduct policy, it starts at 6 games. And I don't think the league's going to go that route, but I think legally they can.
Oh, I'm not saying legally they can do anything they want to.
Mm-hmm.
It won't go well for you. I'll put it that way. You start trying to go, we're going to suspend him for half a year. You're creating that storm you were talking about. That's how that can be a storm. Because then you get the Players Association that jumps in, and then it becomes a big old fight.
I think the
NFL does a better job of avoiding things like this than anybody.
The discussions have already been had.
I would agree, but now you got to convince Deshaun.
Yeah, if you don't think that the NFL and the Players Association, or at least the higher ups in the Players Association, have already gotten together and said, "Look, this is what we need to do. If we give him a 4 to 6 game suspension, whatever it's going to be, are you going to do anything about it? Are you going to raise a fuss?" And they have said yes or no or whatever, and then said, okay, how about, they started at 6, and they went, how about 4? And the leagues and the Players Association probably said, yeah, okay, we could deal with 4. But you got to get
6. He's not rolling over on 6. That's not happening.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think he's going to roll over on 4. I really don't. Everything I've heard from anybody that is even remotely close to him is, I did this for a year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done.
At this point, if I were Deshaun Watson, I would take it. Just take it and get it over with. Don't drag this out because it allows too much more attacks to come your way. It's already going to happen, in my opinion.
And I don't think it will be as drastic as people think.
Maybe not. Domestic violence, sexual assault, this day and age, that's a whole different animal.
And I'm not disputing that.
And you have so many groups that are going to come after the league.
Oh, and I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is that this was you're talking about this being a big storm.
Yes.
Do you remember when the trade happened? And you had people on Twitter going, I've given up my Browns season tickets.
Yep.
Sold out.
Mm-hmm.
Highest number that they have ever put on season tickets.
No doubt.
Sold through them.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. And look, again, not lawyers, not cops.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not talking about that side of it.
Right.
I just don't think he's going to. I think he would look at the deal with Ben. They did a poll on Ben Roethlisberger. We talked about this last week, and it came up, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't remember how it was resolved. I'm not the only one. They did a Q rating poll on that, and like 45% of NFL fans thought he pled guilty to something.
Mm-hmm.
I have this funny feeling that Deshaun Watson knows that, obviously exponentially better than I did.
Right.
And is not going to do anything that makes him look guilty.
Maybe not. But according to sources, the meeting is happening as we speak down in Texas. Deshaun Watson meeting with the league executives. Could they suspend him? Yes. Should they? That's not for me to decide, and so I'm going to leave it to them. And we'll find out sooner or later, and of course, we'll have all your coverage of it right here on ESPN Asheville. We got Hall of Famers doing Hall of Fame stuff. We're going to talk about one Hall of Famer who had a Hall of Fame knockout this weekend, coming up after the break here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, the cold front trying to clear us for tonight. It does drop the humidity, lower our temperatures a little bit for Tuesday. So feeling some refreshingly lower humidity coming our way tomorrow. Most of the thunder showers are over with for us tonight. Low down to 50 degrees. Sunshine Tuesday, 77. Partly cloudy Wednesday, 83. And afternoon storms Thursday, 86. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 west and eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. 40 westbound stop and go between Vines Creek Road and Harmon-Den Road. Patton Avenue southbound between Old Haywood Road and I-40. Traffic volume is building. Hendersonville Road moving well. Sweeten Creek Road, no delays. Charlotte Highway, no backups. And Airport Road, no incidents. Checking the drive time from downtown Asheville to Asheville Regional Airport via 26 eastbound. Drive time 18 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples is your shipping solution for small business with packing and shipping supplies and services. Get 15% off UPS Ground and 20% off UPS Express shipping services. Offer ends 5/28. Visit staplesconnect.com/services/shipping for details. If you need to ship at Staples.
The Winston-Salem Journal called it stolen valor. Madison Cawthorn lied about being accepted to the Naval Academy to get elected. In perpetual pursuit of celebrity, Cawthorn will lie about anything. That's why the Citizen Times calls Cawthorn an attention-seeking embarrassment. Now, Madison Cawthorn starring in Vladimir Putin's state-owned TV. Putin used Cawthorn's outrageous views to defend his evil war crimes. And while Putin slaughtered innocent Ukrainians, Cawthorn voted against sanctioning Putin and banning the Russian oil funding Putin's terror. Worse than helping our enemies, Madison Cawthorn hurts our heroes. Cawthorn's plan cuts veterans' benefits by $80 billion. Devastating cuts to America's finest. It's shameful. Lying, limelight-loving Madison Cawthorn helps our enemies, but hurts our heroes. Results for NC paid for and is responsible for the content of this ad. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.resultsfornc.com.
Doug. Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hustle up!
up. We've got 8 more floors to go before lunch.
Sarusha's window washing business is reaching new heights.
Wipe, and let's roll.
They need more certified cleaners to keep online reviews crystal clear.
Team, I know we're hustling, but watch for streaks. Candace, can you give me a hand over here?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Need to hire? Need Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
That's Steve Smith's message to Yaya Olorunsola, who got his brain knocked in the 4th round of the first professional boxing match of Frank Gore's career.
We're showing the clip live on YouTube right now.
Nice.
It was... First of all, Frank Gore is built like a Terminator.
Yes, he is. He looks incredible. But he knocked him out with the first punch, and then the second one just kind of took him all the way to the floor.
Well, he just kind of hangs out up there for a minute like, I'm supposed to fall down now.
Right.
And
whoopoo. The first punch knocked him into Tuesday, and the second one knocked him all the way to next weekend. As Frank Gore now officially 1-0 in his professional boxing career. His first was an unsanctioned bout against, who was it he fought? Deron Williams, former NBA player.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
He lost the decision. It's fine. He lost the decision in the unsanctioned fight and said, "You know what? I'm gonna go pro ranks here," and he did. $300,000 apparently is what he made on that.
Oh. And here's what I'll never understand: who is paying for that fight? Who is sitting at home? I don't care if they charged you $1.99. Who picks up their remote and goes, "Yeah, I want to watch that"?
Yeah. Look, here's the
first
thing.
of all, the clip that we showed looked like it was shot off a cell phone.
I have seen two full stories on this today. Read both of them. Neither of them said what the promotion was. The only thing I could see is that it was in Biloxi, Mississippi. But no promotion, no, hey, this was on Triller or whatever. The embarrassing knockout on Triller this weekend. Did you hear about this?
No.
It was Evander Holyfield's youngest son. And he came into the bout at a perfect 9-0 on his boxing career, and he was fighting a dude that was 5-6, who actually, his nickname in the ring is the Electrician, because that's his day job. Ew. And he got his brain knocked in. Evander Holyfield's kid picked up his first loss. He was, for whatever book you could find the odds at, he was minus 10,000 to win that fight, and he got knocked out.
By the way, if you're wagering on Evander Holyfield's kids' fights, there are meetings in the basement of churches that they have stale coffee and bad cookies.
Oh,
and you should probably invest in them.
I am sure there are Triller Fight Club fans out there that just can't get enough.
Speaking of people that shouldn't be fighting, Ric Flair's coming back for one fight.
Yes, he is. Woo!
He's 73 years old.
Uh-huh. And you know what? He doesn't look bad for a 73-year-old who almost died a year ago.
Don't do this.
2 years ago.
A 73-year-old man with a pacemaker should not be fighting. And I don't care if it's scripted. Right. I don't care.
July the 31st, it will be his last match at the Nashville Fairgrounds. It's going to be the day after SummerSlam. which is also in Nashville. So they're going to have the carryover from that crowd. Everybody going to stick around for the final match of Ric Flair's career.
Why? Isn't it like the Nashville Fairgrounds or something like that? This is one of those events that you get fans that show up and get autographs, and the ring looks like it was constructed by 4 carnies 8 hours before. Please don't do this. I grew up loving Ric Flair. Please don't do this.
You know what this is going to be, though? They're going to put him in the ring against some jobber or something. And they might put him in against a name. Who knows?
It'll probably be some name that's as old as he is.
He's been training with Jay Lethal from AEW.
I still, to this day, have absolutely no idea who that is.
Jay Lethal?
I don't know who that is.
I
Googled him earlier,
decent.
and there was a video of him and Ric Flair wooing at each other.
Oh, it's great.
Which is
bizarre. That whole segment was just phenomenal. Jay Lethal does an amazing Ric Flair impression, and they had a great back and forth on AEW 10 years ago. I didn't realize that it's been 10 years.
Well, it could have been AEW because it's only been around for 2 years. That's the Shad Khan thing.
Well, he wasn't in a fight. He was like a
but it couldn't have been in
AEW
because it didn't exist.
Yeah, but it feels like 10 years ago. I mean, see, we've been through the Corona shutdown, and so that put at least 5 years on everything. So I don't know how long ago it was.
I mean, Ric Flair's fought in everything, so it's
true. His official last match was at Impact Wrestling against Sting.
It was TNA. It was not AEW.
Okay,
I don't know what TNA is.
Yeah,
so.
total nonstop action.
Oh, good Lord.
Total nonstop action. Yeah, that was the Jeff Jarrett brainchild.
Ugh. Old Double J.
Before AEW. Thank you to whoever corrected that.
That was Andreas Pinckney and Kevin Vick.
Thank you guys for straightening that out. But it was a phenomenal back and forth. Anyway, his last match was September the 12th, 2011 against Sting in Impact Wrestling, which I believe TNA became Impact Wrestling. But anyway, it's just hard to believe. It's hard to believe that it's been 11 years almost that Ric Flair has not been in an actual match.
I'm just adamant I don't want this to happen.
No, it's going to be fine. You got to let him go out on a win. I don't know.
Though?
I don't know if he won that match. Of course you do.
He's actually old enough to be my grandfather.
I would lay down in a heart. I don't care if it's Roman Reigns. I would lay down for Ric Flair in his final match.
If you just need somebody to lay down on the mat and let Ric Flair cover him, I will volunteer right now. But I am not even fake hitting him.
I feel like they should bring in somebody for this. They should bring in Jerry the King Lawler or some name. If it was in Memphis, it would be Lawler and nobody else. But that guy's still doing it too. He was just wrestling in Charlotte this past weekend.
Once you have heart attacks, no good can come of this.
So July 31st, 6:05 start for it as they are paying homage to the Jim Crockett promotions from way back in the day at the Nashville Fairgrounds. And there will be tickets and the pay-per-view stream on Fight TV, FITE.
Yep, there's another. If you're buying that, I need you to explain it to me.
Will go on sale May 27th, which is not this Friday, but the following Friday at noon. They will start selling tickets for this thing. Look, this is a historic thing. This is going to be the Nature Boys' last match.
For what, the 27th time? I think we've now done this 27 times.
You would say he can't physically do it again, right?
Out. The Seacrest out.
Come on.
I will not support this.
It's going to be. He may want it this way. He may die in the ring.
I don't want that.
He may just at the end of it just be like, "Woo, I won! All right," and do the face flop and be done.
Out.
It's the way all heroes should go, in a blaze of glory. All right, it's time to get weird.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
And I'm going to call this an update to a past story. I love doing these, and I believe it was a few weeks back. I told you the story about the police chief in Bordentown up in I forgot what state it is now. I think it's up in Pennsylvania. So in Bordentown, police chief Brian Pesky was arrested for a DWI.
He was doing crimes.
Don't
do crimes.
He was doing crimes. He was arrested in Hamilton by the Hamilton police, and now we have video. Now we have the officer video of the scene. They rolled up onto the scene, and there's a red pickup truck sitting on the side of the road, doors standing wide open, and there's a man laying behind the pickup truck. For some reason, his pants are off. Like, he still got them on, but you could tell they were down for some reason. The two officers walk up, and they're like, "Hey, are you okay? It looks like you got sick over here. Either you just urinated or you threw up on the back tire." And one officer says, "I'm not bending down to tell which one." They asked him if he was okay, and he's like, "What's going on?" They said, "Look, can we call your wife or somebody?" He's like, "Well, why would you need to do that?" He's like, "'Cause you look like you're sick." He asks him, "Are you a diabetic or something?" And the guy goes, "No, not at all." And one officer on the camera goes, "I think that was the wrong answer." They booked this guy. He is facing charges, obviously. He has been suspended from duty. But you need to go right now to check out the YouTube video that was just released in the last couple of days of the Bordentown police chief, Brian Pesky, who is in a situation that you never want to see the top cop. I still can't get over. Are you diabetic? No, not at all. I feel like that was the wrong call. You should have came up with a better explanation of why you're laying on the ground.
Stephen Sharp, he was an Arby's manager in Washington State, and they obtained a search warrant because Mr. Sharp was doing crimes. They were of a sexual nature, and they subpoenaed his devices to see just exactly how many crimes that he did.
Oh no.
Well, when they subpoenaed his devices, including his computer and his cell phone, they determined that not only did he do the crimes that he was accused of, he also had done another, they're all gross crimes, but this one is another gross crime. As the manager of his Arby's, he had a video of himself urinating in the milkshake machine.
No, sir.
And then serving the milkshakes to people.
No. This
happened on October 30th. Not only did he do it, he recorded himself doing it and then told authorities that it gave him a level of gratification as he was selling them to people.
No.
I will never drink another milkshake as long as I live. And I love milkshakes. Love them. I will never unhear this story. They say no publicity is bad publicity. Arby's is on line one to refute that.
Right.
I often in this segment say don't do crimes. Mm-hmm. There are not many times that I go, it would be okay to do crimes. If you purchased a milkshake from this Arby's, I feel like if I were a judge, I am not convicting you for doing crimes to Mr. Sharp.
You want a $6 billion lawsuit? You make me drink your pee out of the milkshake machine? $6 billion, mine.
You know, and there are times that I feel like God protects me from things. One of them is that he was in Washington State and not here. Because I would do crimes.
The true crime is that this guy didn't work at McDonald's. That would have saved him because their ice cream machines never work.
Yeah, it never works.
Sorry, I had to take the shot. I did. It's low-hanging fruit. I honestly have never been to a McDonald's that didn't have their ice cream working. Never.
I don't know that I've ever been to one where they did have the ice cream working. I was also today years old when I found out Arby's had milkshakes. I was also today years old when I made a mental note to never, ever purchase one.
Well, I don't feel like this is systemic.
I don't disagree. I can't get over it. I had one bad interaction with a turkey out in front of this place. I won't even eat turkey sandwiches now.
You just can't do it.
Man, that turkey, I'm telling you, that thing knows I'm terrified of it.
No.
I see him every day when I drive in here. He just puffs up his feathers like, I know you're scared.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're scared.
They can smell fear.
Upwards of 17 people a year are killed in bird attacks. Hashtag birds aren't real.
Yeah. Drew Brees, apparently not going to be working with NBC anymore. Or he might. We don't know. I mean, after the news came out that he wasn't going to be working for NBC this season, he went on Twitter and he said, I just want to clear up some things. Like, I could work for NBC this year. I could work for another TV network. I could come back to play. I could do a manner of other things. I think he mentioned like playing in a ping pong tournament or something, coaching his kids, all these kind of things. And the one thing that has stuck out to everybody is,
I could play next year.
Drew Brees, is he going to come back?
Colin Greene in our YouTube comments just threw out a line that may become one of my lines now. Drew Brees can't throw cold water in a dog bowl, and some of my delusional fan base members want him to come back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, trust me, we've seen it, and it hurts our head.
Mm-hmm. There are so many that think that Drew Brees still has some gas left in the tank. First, there's the New Orleans Saints fans who say, hey, come back because we don't trust Jameis Winston. But noodle arm Drew Brees, who's been on the sidelines for a year, you feel like that's a good option. And then there's Carolina Panther fans who are freaking out going, oh, my gosh, we had Sean Payton news last week, and now there's Drew Brees. This could be the answer to all of our problems.
No.
Now,
here's the question that I have. All right, so if Drew is not going to be working with NBC, does he get to keep his fake hair, or does that go back to NBC? His fake.
I don't feel like that was on loan. I feel like that was a decision that he made of, if I'm going to be on TV, I need to get plugs or whatever it is.
And they're bad plugs, too. Him and John Cena, they went to the same clinic. I feel very sure of it. And the reason that I wanted to talk about this story, one, was to make hair plug jokes at Drew Brees, because I have a full, luxurious head of hair, and so I can do that.
Sexual harassment.
I disagree. This is what I was saying with Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Did you listen to him call games at all last year?
Drew Brees?
Yeah.
No.
He was terrible.
I don't watch Notre Dame
He
games.
was well, he called a playoff game, too. He was awful. And this is just what I want to warn you of with Tom Brady. He could be equally bad.
Could be.
And you're on the hook for $1 jillion.
It's not just about the skill. We're buying the brand.
Well, the Drew Brees brand would theoretically have been worth something, and NBC, it took them one calendar year to go.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. We'll pass.
NBC refused to include him in moving him up to the NBC.
He wanted to call games.
Sunday Night Football. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to call NFL games, and the NBC went through, and they went, you know what? We were full. All of our booths for the NFL games this year are full.
Well, it's not even that.
You can keep
they
doing.
They apparently tapped out on him because they wanted him to replace Collinsworth, ultimately. And it took a couple games for them to go,
nope.
You're not it.
Not going to happen.
So they stuck him in Football Night in America, and he didn't want to do that. He did not want to do a studio show. So now I feel like Fox is in a very bad, very uncomfortable predicament here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have anywhere to turn.
You
have the Super Bowl this year,
mm-hmm.
and it's going to be Greg Olson calling it.
Yes, it will be.
That's not good. That's not a good sign for you.
Unless the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't make it to the Super Bowl, which is a pretty good shot.
I keep hearing this theory, and it's one of the dumber things I've ever heard.
As soon as Tom Brady retires, that deal can kick in.
You're not putting him in a booth for the Super Bowl.
I disagree.
Not in his first game. It would be a disaster. It would be. I don't care how good he is. Go back and listen to the first year of Tony Romo.
Mm-hmm.
It was better than Brady will be. I promise you. And it was still clunky.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those things that people don't seem to understand how hard it is to do these things in real time.
Yep.
And for me, look, I have never had even the faintest desire to do play-by-play. None. Wouldn't take it if you gave it to me. I'll pass. Because if you put me on a live camera for 3 hours in front of national television, I am going to say a wordy dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more than one of them. I do well here. I can reset about every 15 minutes. We're good.
Right.
I do not for the life of me understand why people think that you can just settle into this. Drew Brees was awkward as a play-by-play guy. Now, he was fine in the booth. Or not in the booth. He was fine in the studio.
Yeah, on the studio show.
Studio show, he was fine. In the booth, he was incredibly clunky.
See, I even felt like he was, uncomfortable. I felt like he was uncomfortable doing all of it.
And,
like
and
on the
anybody
Sunday
that's doing this for the first time is going to be.
The Sunday Night in America show, I always felt like he was you are the weakest link, goodbye. Everyone else on that panel I could get down with. I mean, of course, you had Dan Patrick and Tony Dungy and Rodney Harrison. Those guys are seasoned. They know everything. You know, they know each other's cadence. They know when to start talking, when to stop talking. Every time it went to Drew, it was like Drew had that hesitation of, I just don't know what to do next.
Every time it went to Drew, I couldn't stop looking at his hair. Like, you didn't have hair. And now you have a lot of it.
Uh-huh.
But it looks like it was grown on a chia pet.
I feel like he'll be picked up by Fox. Fox will bring him in. They'll give him a 1-year deal. He'll be the number 2 guy.
Well, and that's the other level of this. I don't know that he'll do it as a 2 guy.
He won't get a
I
one
did not
offer.
realize how discrepant the money was.
Yeah,
if you're one of the 2 guys, you're not making squat. You would have to really want to do this, and I just don't think he does.
No, and maybe he doesn't. Maybe
he felt
the first
slighted
year.
by NBC when he was being not put in that position by Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth. How do you think he's going to feel when they say, yeah, we're going to put Greg Olsen in here over you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy it.
They're not going to make him the number 1. If you're not good enough for NBC, then you're not.
I feel like you're looking at that a weird way. NBC spends a lot of money on their one game.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, if NBC already looked at you and said, you're not our number 1 guy, you're not even our future number 1 guy.
Well, they have no one that would be their number 1 with Chris Collinsworth. That's the
right.
That's how I think you missed part of the story. Where this became an issue, they didn't even want him to be the 2.
Mm-hmm.
They were putting him exclusively in the studio.
Yes, I know.
And he said, no, I'm not doing that. Now, why he didn't want to confirm that, I have absolutely no idea.
But that's what I'm saying. Fox is not going to bring him in to be the number 1 guy. He'll be on regional coverage. They'll put him on afternoon games maybe, just to have the name, just to have the brand, just to have some. I mean,
and
they
my
put
argument
all
would be,
manner of
I
guys.
think you're in. If anybody was going to do it would be Fox, because you are in a bind.
Mm-hmm.
You are in an uncomfortable position here of you don't know how good Greg Olsen is doing this. Oh, we've seen it.
I mean, he's pretty good.
There's big difference between a Carolina Panthers Atlanta Falcons game at 1:00 on a Sunday and the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
There is a tremendous difference there. And if you remember when all of these things started happening and Joe Buck and Troy Aikman move, I said there's going to be somebody that's left without a chair.
Right.
And I feel like it's Fox, and the uncomfortable part of that is going to be you have the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, everybody after Drew said I might come back and play had to start asking Dennis Allen, is Drew coming back? Have y'all talked to Drew? He was like, guys, you realize he probably put that out there in jest. Like, that was a joke.
Oh, you can't make a joke on Twitter anymore. Right. Because anything you say is taken completely literally.
He had to full on take the question and be like, no, I believe he made that in jest. We have had no discussions. There has been no talk about bringing him back.
That was Dennis Allen speak for I would rather play Taysom Hill.
Now, his former coach, Sean Payton, he has landed on television, and it is Fox that is going to give him a contract for this upcoming year.
Is he doing games or is he in the studio?
He is going to be in the studio, as it is being reported by NBC, Pro Football Network. They say that he is going to be a part of the studio show.
And if you're a Carolina Panther fan,
he will be on the Fox NFL Sunday crew.
And if you're a Carolina Panther fan, that should be the number 1 thing that makes you happy today.
Mm-hmm. It's a 1-year deal. That's all it is. And he's going to become a part of the studio show with Jimmy Johnson and Michael Strahan and all those guys. And then next year he'll be back coaching.
And that's my fear with Sean Payton was somebody who was going to give him a number to be in the booth that was just going to be so absorbent that he didn't have to come back to coaching.
Right.
Now, just look at the timing of all this. So he does a 1-year deal. Matt Rule says what possibly might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard come out of somebody's mouth. And you've got all of these rumors. I just have this weird feeling David Tepper's going to back up a Brinks truck to him next year.
As he should.
I agree.
Pay the man his money.
And Matt Rule saying, oh, he told me it was a 5-year rebuild. Oh, no. Oh, no, we're doing that divorce thing where we're accusing each other of being the problem. This never goes well.
Just cut your losses with Matt Rule, the $8.5 million that you paid him, and go full on what would be a stupid number? $15 million? That's too much. $12 million?
I'd do 15.
Would you do 15 for Sean Payton?
I'll be honest with you, if I was Carolina and Sean Payton had, because I've heard that is one of the jobs he has interest in. He would want the Dolphins job. That's never happening. Doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't have gotten Mike. I'm not going to get into that. Carolina's the one that makes sense that he allegedly does have interest in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what it takes. There's just not many coaches that are going to A, win the press conference, and B, win games. I feel like coaches in the NFL at this point are kind of like the same problem Fox is having with commentators. There's probably a lot of guys that could do it. I've just never seen it. And I could end up with a Drew Brees, Matt Rule situation, or I could just pay the money and know exactly what I'm getting with Sean Payton.
Would you double it? Would you go $1 million a game?
Oh, absolutely.
For Sean
I don't care what
Payton?
it costs.
Okay.
I don't care. There are not two coaches on this planet that I would feel better about coaching my NFL team than Sean Payton, and one of them is Bill Belichick.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And maybe that's it. Maybe he gets the Tony Romo deal just to come back and coach for the Carolina Panthers next year.
And I would be fine with it.
But I could very well see Drew Brees joining him at Fox for a 1-year prove-it deal, we'll call it. And then Tom's going to come in next year and take over the number 1 color analyst slot, and we won't have to worry about this anymore. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Delays 26 westbound between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound stop and go between Vines Creek Road and Harmondin Road. Smoky Park Highway moving well. Patton Avenue incident-free. New Leicester Highway, no delays. Hendersonville Road moving well, and Sweeten Creek Road, no incidents. On the Charlotte Highway, no backups. Checking the drive time from Swannanoa to Asheville via 40 westbound and 240 westbound. Drive time 17 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Maytag. May is Maytag month. So put the hardest working month of the year to work for you and bring home big savings on the Maytag kitchen and laundry appliances you want now through June 1st. Because May is Maytag month.
I'm Michelle V. Woodhouse for Congress, and I authorized this message.
Madison Cawthorn has self-destructed and cannot win the race for Congress. That's why true mountain conservatives are now moving to support America First conservative Michelle Woodhouse. Conservatives understand that Michelle Woodhouse is our only chance to keep our congressional seat in conservative hands. A vote for Madison Cawthorn is a wasted vote that could allow an establishment politician like Chuck Edwards to win our seat. That's why it's so important that conservatives unite behind Michelle Woodhouse now. Michelle Woodhouse will fight against Joe Biden's socialist agenda, and Michelle Woodhouse is the only candidate who can win in November. This race is coming down to two people, conservative Michelle Woodhouse versus Chuck Edwards, who is the establishment candidate. In other words, Chuck Edwards is just like Richard Burr and Adam Kinzinger. Conservatives, the choice is clear. Michelle Woodhouse for Congress. Paid for by Michelle V. Woodhouse for Congress.
Doug. Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need. at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get access. Well, not anymore, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide with deals like our Silver Unlimited plan for just $45 a month and no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for $249, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Dirty Perky Shark back flat.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
Shark back flat.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
You know, I don't mean to keep heaping on Bill, but he just makes it easier by the day. The specifics of his offensive staff in New England have gotten a little clearer, because Joe Judge told New England media that he is working directly with Mac Jones and the quarterbacks. If that sounded a little funny to you, it should, because his background was as a special teams coordinator. The only time I've ever seen him have any hands-on experience with a quarterback of any kind, it was 2 years as a head coach of the New York Giants, leading an offense that, is real good. The best he ever finished in yards or touchdowns in terms of passing offense was 29th. There are 32 teams in this league. Daniel Jones is a more talented quarterback than Mac Jones is. And I like Mac a lot. And Bill has earned all of the platitudes you could possibly ever have for a coach because, well, look at the rings. I get that. But in the NFL, when you try to outsmart the league, it tends to be you that looks like the fool. If you don't believe me, ask Chip Kelly, because that's the last time I saw something like this, and that went down in a blaze of glory. You're putting your rookie quarterback in a position to fail. I've watched this happen with countless quarterbacks over the years, and I'm not just going to keep my mouth shut because the coach that's doing it has 6 Super Bowl rings. Well, those 6 rings came with the greatest quarterback that ever lived, something that Mac Jones is not. And if you keep putting him in situations like this, he'll never be in the ballpark of it. I'm mad.
The latest on the Deshaun Watson, according to Twitter, Tom Withers, the AP reporter for the Cleveland Browns, tweeted out about 14 minutes ago that Deshaun Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, tells the AP that he's leaving it to the NFL to discuss the interview schedule, but said, quote, the quarterback will be interviewed at great length soon. We don't know what that soon means, but it was reported earlier today that at some point this week, and it was reported that that's happening today by other sources, he is going to be meeting with the league to decide what is going to happen with this season. Will there be a suspension? Will there not be a suspension? We'll have all of the latest breaking news on this throughout the week, unless it happens on Wednesday. Programming note, we will not be with you on Wednesday as the Atlanta Braves have a afternoon baseball game on Wednesday, so no Sportsocracy for you on Wednesday afternoon. But we'll be here every other day right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400, and of course everywhere on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, the cold front trying to clear us for tonight. It does drop the humidity, lower our temperatures a little bit for Tuesday. So feeling some refreshingly lower humidity coming our way tomorrow. Most of the thunder showers are over with for us tonight. Low down to 50 degrees. Sunshine Tuesday, 77. Partly cloudy Wednesday, 83. And afternoon storms Thursday, 86. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors.
Ray Magliozzi here. I'd like to carry more parts, but I barely have room to think in my garage. Luckily, eBay Motors has all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them. Can't imagine stocking that many parts. Where would I get all those shelves? eBay Motors. Let's ride.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Delays 26 westbound between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound stop and go between Vines Creek Road and Harmondin Road. Smoky Park Highway moving well. Patton Avenue incident free. New Leicester Highway no delays. Hendersonville Road moving well, and Sweeten Creek Road no incidents. On the Charlotte Highway no backups. Checking the drive time from Swannanoa to Asheville via 40 westbound and 240 westbound. Drive time 17 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Are you a safe driver? Are you looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday Night Rivals, televising